Huh. I do wonder, what do all of these recipients have in common? Huh. Why did I show you that? No reason. Absolutely no reason at all. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org, and as the mainstream media distracts you with the latest celebritard nonsense, divisive, absolutely meaningless crap, and that's why in this video we are going to be doing a geopolitical deep dive, specifically focusing on American foreign policy, human rights, the latest serious escalations with China, and more insane Russian disinformation propaganda. All of that plus more on this independent YouTube channel that's supported by companies that I like and I use. One of them is VPN City, a service that provides you an extra layer of security and privacy when you're online. So for an example, if you're in Hong Kong or China and there's a lot of websites which you can't access, well, all you have to do is start up your VPN and bada bing, bada boom. Your computer could be anywhere you choose. This is very important when governments don't want you to see specific websites, or even entertainment companies don't want you seeing specific content, like 7 Years in Tibet, which you can't see on Netflix in the United States. But if you change your VPN settings to Australia, you can now see the movie that's deemed controversial because it portrays Tibet as a country. So yeah, I actually don't even have an official relationship with this company. I use them. I like them. I set up an affiliate code. And if you use them too, I will get a small commission of that, which will allow this independent media organization to still somehow survive, even though we're heavily censored, shadow banned, and now 100% demonetized. So yeah, if you're shopping around for a VPN, check out our link in the description and comment section below. Now, moving forward, I think it's very fair to say that tensions between the United States and China are rising at an all-time high, and of course not going in a good direction, as even many business tycoons are warning about the potential of an actual hot war between the two world powers, which already, as you're going to find out in this video, financially is underway. But right now we are seeing a very serious war of words that were just escalated by the U.S. Attorney General Barr, who warned that the Chinese are dominating industries, specifically deciding to call out Silicon Valley and Hollywood for caving to the pressures of making money with China and disregarding obvious human rights violations. Even U.S. Senator Ted Cruz went as far as to call out the censorship that happens in Hollywood because of China. And what Ted Cruz is saying is actually what happens with Hollywood many times, censoring content that China does not like. But also, it's important to note here that the United States intelligence agencies and Pentagon also have the same influence over Hollywood, who as an entire industry should be characterized as soulless Luciferian devils that will do anything for a buck. That should be the definition of Hollywood, in my opinion. But when it comes to major multinational corporations bowing down to China, this is sort of a new norm, especially with the latest information that we've seen, exemplified by the NBA and other major industries that, of course, make a lot of money in China. And we have to understand, when it comes to the escalating tensions between China and the United States, there are many fronts, the trade war being one of them, Taiwan being one of them, Australia another one, the China Sea, India, but the one that has been garnering a lot of attention is, of course, the latest actions developing in Hong Kong, which the United States is specifically referencing as a reason why he signed the Hong Kong Autonomy Act, and also signed an executive order that ends the United States' preferential treatment of Hong Kong. As we know, Hong Kong was previously a free territory. China is more and more establishing its influence there. Now, Donald Trump is saying that his action is the toughest action on China than any other administration. There are now sanctions imposed on, quote, entities that help violate Hong Kong's autonomy. A lot of this, according to the official story, is, of course, because of China's tightening of grip of control of Hong Kong, especially with its new security laws that allow people to be arrested for, quote, sedition, not liking the government. Some of the recent laws allow Hong Kong police officers to enter someone's home without a warrant. Books are also being disappeared. The Hong Kong police also have the right now to take away people's passports, seize their bank accounts, censor online content, as well as spy on their citizens. You know, most of the powers that, by the way, the United States has over American citizens right now. Now we have to understand what is happening here is not over human rights. It is over geopolitical hegemonic power over the world. Hong Kong is only one pawn in this entire larger geopolitical chess game. Taiwan, of course, is another one. And now Taiwanese government officials are asked to even sign statements supporting the One China policy in order to be allowed to have work visa extensions. Again, Taiwan is another major piece with this larger struggle for power between these two nations. As we previously talked about in other videos, the war games that are happening with China practicing the invasion of Taiwan and Taiwan practicing with their own war games how to defend themselves and launch a counterattack against China. Now, with the latest U.S. sanctions and the United States moving to treat Hong Kong the same way as it does China, we have Chinese government officials, of course, vowing retaliation against the United States, which only escalates the larger trade and economic war happening between these two nations. What exactly will be China's response? Well, most likely it will be financial, as of course the two nations are economically coupled together, and slowly, especially after the latest circumstances with the Conholio virus, slowly these nations are decoupling from each other, as many people, of course, fear the worst with more escalations between these two countries. The United States is even, quote, considering a ban on travel to the United States by all members of the Chinese Communist Party and their family members, which CNN decries and says that there will be major consequences because of, since many of these Communist Chinese Party members are also some of China's wealthiest entrepreneurs, quote, entrepreneurs. They're really statist, especially when you understand how business works in China. But all options are, of course, on the table as we are seeing a tit-for-tat escalation. China, of course, recognizing that and even making very significant moves like creating their own internet with major developments with their Chinese company Huawei and other telecommunications companies that are trying to establish a new, quicker, and quote, more secure internet they believe will help them accelerate technologically over the United States, which has been the obvious goal of the Chinese state. This is also in part why the United States, along with its allies, including the United Kingdom, have set their eyes on Huawei, specifically surrounding this latest 5G debate, and have made a lot of public policy not to empower this Chinese company, specifically talking about Huawei here, which, by the way, is blocked from operating in the United States and now recently blocked from operating in the United Kingdom. As of course, as I described yesterday, and I've been describing for weeks and months and years, when we're going to have the next big potential conflict, that conflict will, of course, happen in the digital space. This is why we're seeing a lot of back and forth actions regarding TikTok and the United States, regarding 5G, regarding Huawei, because the internet landscape is the landscape of the future. China has already fast-tracked its online capabilities, specifically also with their social credit score, in very frightening ways. Specifically, what they've been doing to the Uyghur Muslims, which absolutely horrifying stories have been coming out of, including just recently, where the United States seized an $800,000 shipment of 13 tons of human hairs, which many experts believe came from the Uyghur Muslim population in China. Now again, much is still unknown about exactly what is happening to the Uyghur Muslims, but the little bit of information that we're getting, especially from drone footage, the footage that you're watching right now, is absolutely frightening. And it should have everyone concerned, especially with the human rights violations that China is historically responsible for. Now, China is an emerging superpower, but it also has a lot of internal issues within itself, as even just a couple moments ago, we got the information that the majority of flights to a major province in China are being absolutely stopped. We know geopolitically China is located in a weak position. This is why we're seeing escalating tensions between them and India, as China right now is trying to gobble up very important land, disputed land in the north of India, which of course would help it significantly. This is why we're seeing them develop islands in the South Chinese Sea, since of course they're also surrounded by a lot of countries like Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, and Australia that are not their biggest allies and more closely aligned with the United States. This is why we also have seen an escalation between ties between China and Australia, India, Taiwan, as the whole situation in China is an absolute powder keg, and it could go off at any moment and any time, since clearly relations are only worsening and not getting better from here. And I don't envision them getting better from here, as of course we have a country set on establishing its dominance, and there's no denying that they've been able to have some success. This is why I'm talking about them today, and the country should have some considerate discussion in our foreign policy and national conversations when it comes to the future of American-Chinese relations. But no, we have silly discussions about logos on face diapers by celebritards. Or we have more absolute ridiculous Russia fear-mongering, a favorite topic of course, the mainstream media and the establishment, that tell you that of the big bad Russians are hiding under every bed trying to hurt you. And now we have the latest piece of propaganda, this alleged anonymous report coming, of course, from the very trusted intelligence community that never lied to us before. No, they never told us that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Sorry, I digress here. But now, according to an anonymous government intelligence source, the Russians are trying to steal the cornholio sickness vaccine. Yes, according to anonymous sources, the Russians are trying to steal the research and are, quote, launching cyber attacks against medical organizations and universities. Again, one other thing that people need to be made aware of here, cyber attacks happen frequently. The United States does them, Russia does them, China does them. There's a lot of hacking going around, and to only point one country as doing this is just intellectually dishonest. Now, whether this happened or not, the allegation would need something called evidence, which we don't have any. The story is just dumb on its own face value, because we're also getting information that Russian universities are absolutely showing significant progress when it comes to this, quote, potential vaccine. But more importantly, this is a worldwide effort that many countries and universities are working together on. And if we're going to believe the New York Times and the Guardian about this specific story, we're going to have some evidence here, mainly because these anonymous government sources have been proven liars many times, especially when it comes to the topic of Russia. It also should be understood from the releases of WikiLeaks that the U.S. intelligence agencies have the capability to mask cyber attacks and make them look like they came from anywhere in the world. So when it comes to the online space, we have to understand that there are specific tools to engineer specific outcomes to look in specific ways. And again, we should also question a lot of the information that we're, quote, getting about this alleged cure and vaccine, since of course more and more we're finding out that we know very, very little about the actual sickness, as we also got very strange news from Argentina, where 57 sailors, who, by the way, isolated themselves for 2 weeks and then were tested before boarding a ship, which they were on for over 35 days, came back, and the 57 sailors out of all 61 sailors on board came back positive, infected with the cornholio sickness. And that, again, makes absolutely no sense. Again, these are people isolated quarantined for 2 weeks, tested before boarding the ship, 35 days at sea, away from the general public, away from cell phone towers, crowded cities, pollution, other human beings, and they come back with positive test results? Again, we also should question the data that we are getting, since of course there are a lot of statistical anomalies. As a Department of Health and Social Care source came out and said, quote, you could have been tested positive in February for the cornholio sickness, have no symptoms, then be hit by a bus in July, and you'd be recorded as a cornholio death. Again, even the tests are coming out to be inconclusive, leaving a lot of people just absolutely scratching their heads, asking what the hell is going on. And after researching and looking into this and talking to many medical professionals, I could, without any shadow of doubt, confirm 100% that no one knows what the hell's going on here. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. That is scary to some. We still don't know the long-term ramifications. I mean, obviously something is up. Obviously there's a lot of questions about the lab in Wuhan, but who the hell knows what's going on, especially with people in the United States politicizing this, governments using this to seize opportunity and power over individuals, and human life just being utterly disregarded. Still, I would urge caution. Still, I would urge skepticism of all sides of the story, and rather to be safer than sorry with this ongoing situation. Again, it's uncomfortable for some people to hear that the situation is uncertain, but that's the truth here, and that's what you deserve, and that's what I promise to share to you. That's the one thing that I owe you, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. What do you think is actually going on? I would love to hear your feedback down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.